Hi guys, happy Thursday. So I'm here to try to finish up our 21 days of prayer. Got a little behind there. Things are crazy this time of the year. I know you guys are busy too, but I want to try to finish this up. But I'm only going to do one chapter a day because I feel like this one was really good and it's got a lot of information, and I want to try to keep these as short as I can. So this book, first I'll tell you, if you haven't been on here before, this is 21 Days of Prayer for Your Business by Monique McLean. And this is an amazing book. It's not just, it's for business, but there's so much good stuff in here that you can apply just to your everyday life. I'm really, really enjoying it. And this is a great day here. This is called Day 18, Competition Complements You. So this one is really good, and she starts off like with a little story, which I'm not going to go into. We'll just kind of dig right in. So basically, she's talking about remembering that we're on the same team, that a competitor isn't a competitor unless you have decided there's a competition. And that's kind of the key to remember through this whole thing. And she starts off with telling us the definition of competitor, which is someone who is trying to win or do better than all others, especially in business or sports, someone who is competing. And I don't know what business you have, but this applies really just in life in general with it could be your coworkers, with friends, whoever you're surrounded with. We sometimes find ourselves comparing ourselves, and I'm sure you've heard that comparison is the thief of joy. It steals your joy completely when you start to compare yourself to others. So that's really what a lot of this is about. And she talks about here, says you may have another business or person who wants to win or do better. And they're trying to find more success, and maybe they really want to crush you. They want to watch your business fail. And you can't control how that person feels, but you can control how you act and how you think, and how you present yourself to others. And you can allow the competition to either make you better as a person, better in your business, better in your life, or you can allow it to consume you and cause you to be bitter. I say, let's go for better. And competition can complement you, or it can control you. Competition can bring out the best in people, or it can bring out the worst in people. And we really want to make sure that we are being that person who's taking the higher road, and who's going to stand out and shine above all else. And that's what's going to help you be successful in your business and in life. So she's going to give us a couple verses here that we can dig into. So the first one is in Galatians, and this verse says, "Pay careful attention to your own work. Then you will get the satisfaction of a job well done. You won't need to compare yourself to anyone else, for we are each responsible for our own conduct." And that's from Galatians 6, 4 through 5. So we have to pay careful attention to our own work. Hey, Junior, how are you? We need to examine very carefully what we do and why we do it, and where our heart is really when we are doing these things. Take a step back and examine, where is my heart in this? And making sure that we're paying attention to our own work. So she talks about that several times, and we'll go into a little more detail. So what happens when we begin comparing our work with others is we either think that we're, one, better than they are, or that they are better than us. And both of them can be very much damaging to your business and to your life in general. One is going to start to slow you down because you think that you'll never measure up, and the other slows you down because you think that you've got it all together and you're that in a bag of chips, and neither one of those things is good. So we should be comparing ourselves to ourselves, not to others. So the next part is she talks about a look in the mirror. So the verse goes on. We'll talk about a couple things from the verse, and she wants us to pay careful attention to your own work. Then you will have the satisfaction of a job well done. Satisfaction does not come from paying careful attention to how you crushed your competition. It doesn't come from being better than someone else. It doesn't come because you were focused. It comes because, you were focusing on you and your mission, not on what everybody else is doing. It comes from embracing who we are and the gifts and talents that God has given us, and not what somebody else has and what they're doing. So don't measure yourself to others, measure yourself to yourself. She says that several times. So measure yourself to yourself, not to others. And this part in the verse here, she says the verse ends with saying we are each responsible for our own conduct. So we're going to dig into that a little bit more. So Galatians 6:5 specifically says, for every man shall bear his own burden, for each one should carry their own load. Those are two different versions. One's the King James and one is the NIV. So in three different translations, they use the words conduct, burden, and load. And the actual Greek word, she says, that was used there is called fortion, I think is how you say it, fortion. And according to the Strong's Concordance, it means a burden which must be carried by the individual. So not by somebody else, by you, by the individual person carrying their own burden. So, our own burden is, can be a lot sometimes. So we don't want to put somebody else's on top of that, because then it's just going to be too much, too heavy to carry. We have enough of our own. So she talks about here, pay careful attention, and we have plenty of stuff that we ourselves need to work on and improve in our own lives. And if other people, are doing things that aren't nice or undermining or just, downright wrong and dirty in their business, we have to pay attention to our stuff and be the light in that darkness and be the person who goes above and beyond to show our love and our heart in that situation. Because, if they're lacking that integrity and they're always wanting to get in front of us, it's not helping us to try to compete with them. So let's see. Then on the bottom, she talks about there's nothing wrong with being driven. A lot of people have, that's like their innate personality is to be a very driven person. That's, different personality types. I don't know if anybody's done, I can't remember the name of the one that does the colors, the color wheel. It's yellow, red, blues, who am I leaving out? Greens. Yellow, red, blue, and green. My family has each one of them. And my daughter is red, which that type of personality is very driven and likes, competition, which is fine when we are trying to better ourselves, competing against ourselves. But when we want to be better than others, that's when we have issues that start to arise. So she talks about that. There's nothing wrong with being driven. We can allow competition to either consume us or to complement us. And when it consumes us, obviously, that's when we have issues. Competition complements us when we focus on bettering ourselves. And then it begins to consume us when we focus on being better than someone else. And true and real satisfaction comes from what complements you. And again, she talks about, remember that definition of competitor, someone who is trying to win or do better than all others, especially in business or sports, someone who is competing. So the only person we need to be doing better than is ourselves. We need to be our only competitor, focused on ourselves, bettering ourselves, and that's how we'll start to grow in our business and our life. So the last part, she ends with this verse. I love this verse. It's so funny. I actually this verse came to me earlier today, and I had texted this to a friend of mine. Then Jesus said, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light." Matthew 11:28-30. Love that verse. So I really like this chapter. It had a lot of stuff in it, so I didn't want to really do any other ones today. So again, if you don't have this book, I'd really recommend it. It's great. It's called 21 Days of Prayer by Monique McLean, and it has been really great. I've learned so much in here. And again, it's, it's life stuff. It's not just for your business. That's what it's all about. Really, when you have a business or growing your business, it's more about you growing as a person, and you'll learn a lot about yourself and grow in your faith and your walk with the Lord and your family and relationships and all that really start to change, because you really learn a lot about yourself and all kinds of stuff that's just crazy. So, all right, guys, I hope you have an awesome Thursday, and I will make sure to post this on my YouTube channel. If you missed the other ones, you can get on there and watch all the replays. They are on there under 21 Days of Prayer, and my YouTube is Mama Gone Granola. All right, guys, have an awesome Thursday. Bye.